when Uggh, together with various other members of this highly esteemed guild, received an invitation to search for the Orb of Davras, he was uninterested. It seemed irrelevant to his duties as a guardian of the Vale. Daggerfall is a good distance from the Vale of Dreamers, and their interests don't normally clash. But he obediently sent all the details back to the Vale, and he was astonished to receive a notification through the magic devices issued to him as a guardian that his mother wanted to speak to him. When he made the connection, he reminded him that he had had a run-in with the orb when he was only 8 at the cursed carnival, where an unspeakably fearsome curse interfered with his maturation process. Uggh had driven that unfortunate event from his mind. At her urging, he resurrected the unspoken memories. Then she told him that the Vale authorities were very interested in the orb, and indeed in other items that they thought might be in the Manticore's lair. Over the next few nights, Uggh spent much time in conversation with the Vale. He learned that they'd been keeping an eye on the Dragonfall's rulers, where ambitions could destabilize the entire region, particularly if they got their hands on the Orb of Davras. The Vale even sent a team to examine Uggh's compass of the Manticore, for which Uggh had to hike several hours from the guild and meet them. An expert team spent hours poring over the compass and seemed quite satisfied with their findings. Uggh offered to let them take the compass, but they gently refused and insisted that he participate in the quest himself. Discussion was still swirling through the guild as to whether they should participate, and Uggh was urged to use his influence, such as it was, to persuade the guild to sponsor the quest. Uggh was curious as to why the Vale would be so interested. His vague memories of the orb from the Witchlight Carnival didn't seem to warrant such an effort. And he suspected that the Duchess's challenge to her son was designed primarily to get the Marquess out of the way. Eventually, the Vale authorities convinced him to put forward his best effort. He learned that both the orb in particular and the Manticore's lair had been on the Vale's wish list for many years, and that they took both the opportunity and the risk very seriously. You won't be surprised to learn that Uggh, loyal as ever to the interests of the Vale, agreed to follow instructions to persuade as many as possible of his guild members to follow him on the quest for the Manticore's lair. He spent many hours in the guild hall, buying drinks for everyone and writing urgent notes, pleading with them to agree to pursue the quest. Quickly, everyone was happy to drink the drinks he purchased. Everyone agreed that the guild should pursue the quest. but no one seemed in a hurry to make it happen. He received his final instructions from the Vale. First, make sure that the orb didn't make its way to Daggerfall. Second, if possible, get the orb to the Vale. And he was given additional communication equipment to make that happen. And third, pick up as much loot as possible from the Manticore's lair. Now that was an instruction he would be only too happy to follow. Uggh assumed he was the only dreamer assigned to this task, and was startled to find that this was far from the truth. Two other teams, consisting solely of dreamers, were following various clues, including those he could supply, in the hope of being first to the lair. And, astonishingly, a third team was assigned to follow him at a safe distance, reporting back on what the guild team were doing and ready to transport any loot that Uggh was able to retrieve straight back to the Vale. Uggh didn't know whether to feel proud that he was centrally involved in such a major effort on the part of the Vale, or embarrassed that they didn't feel confident in his ability to handle this matter on his own. No matter. Uggh continued his efforts, his unspoken efforts, to persuade his guild members to accompany him on the quest. But whatever happened, Uggh the Magnificent, Guardian of the Vale, was ready to set off on the quest for the Manticore's lair. Mr. Guildmaster,